Cody Rhodes might be the new WWE champion. He might be the new main man on SmackDown. But is he the main draw? Well, the quarter by quarter hours are going to give us an indication of that. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling, here for the quarter hour breakdown for SmackDown, April 12th, 2024, the first SmackDown after WrestleMania. Now, the overall viewership for this SmackDown was pretty good. It came in at 2.499 million, with a 0.76 in the demo, which averaged out at over 1 million viewers in that 18 to 49 demographic. So the numbers were pretty good for SmackDown overall, but which segments, which quarters led to those good numbers? We're going to find the answer out to that right now. So SmackDown did start quarter 1, 8 o'clock to 8:15, with a WrestleMania recap, Cody Rhodes' live promo, and then we got a little bit of a backstage angle with Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman, and this came in at 2.655 million viewers. It was the second highest quarter of the show and did a 0.78 in the demo, which averaged it at 1.024 million viewers. So again, I think people were tuning in. I think people were excited to see what the first SmackDown without Roman Reigns as the world champion would look like for the first time in almost 4 years. So people, like I said, tuning in, wanting to see the aftermath of WrestleMania.
Yep, they've tuned in to see the aftermath of WrestleMania. They've pretty much got that with the Bloodline appearing in a backstage angle, with Cody Rhodes performing a live promo and the Mania recap.
But we can say Cody Rhodes' promos have been boring, right? And I think they have been. But it's different just for the pure fact is we now have two champions and Roman Reigns isn't one of them.
With a guy that's there every week.
And we have not seen that in the longest of times, so it definitely feels different. I'm not saying the Cody Rhodes era feels good, and he's only what, been the champ in 3 shows now, if you include the latest Raw, so it's not like we've seen a lot of Cody Rhodes, but it does feel different, Roman Reigns not being the champ. But it's not like we haven't seen Roman Reigns appear without the belt either, so I'm sure that will feel weird as well. So far, we just haven't had Roman Reigns be there, and that's not really new because we're used to Roman Reigns not being there. But it's the fact that we've got other people there with Roman Reigns as his titles. That's what feels weird. But anyway, we move into quarter 2, 8:15 to 8:30. It had a WrestleMania video package, and then we get the beginning of Bobby Lashley, LA Knight and Santos Escobar, with the winner of this match moving on to the number 1 contenders match, and this lost 10% of the audience. So yeah, we went down to 2.381 million, almost 300,000 people lost between the opening quarter and quarter 2. But don't worry, because quarter 3, 8:30 to 8:45, seen the continuation of Lashley versus Knight versus Escobar. We then got a Rey Mysterio backstage promo, and then we got the Bloodline segment with Heyman, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, the debut of Tama Tonga, basically debuting, joining the Bloodline and kicking Jimmy Uso out the Bloodline. And this was the highest rated quarter of the show. It did a 2.680 million. It was a plus 13 increase in the viewership, and it was a plus 15% increase in the demographic, and had the highest demographic of the show with a 1.063 million between 18 to 49. So again, people interested in the Bloodline, I think it makes sense to see the Bloodline's reaction to Roman Reigns no longer being champion, see what Paul Heyman's got to say, see what the other members have got to say, and we also had the debut of Tama Tonga. So I'm not surprised that this is the highest rated quarter, and it would appear that the Bloodline is probably the biggest draw in wrestling.
They are the biggest draw, and also you're probably getting a lot of people that thought you might get Roman Reigns and you might get The Rock tonight. Rock kind of did say goodbye on Raw, but I think a lot of people might have thought they were getting Roman tonight. Well, on Friday, sorry, because they didn't get him on Monday. And then you would kind of expect Roman Reigns to appear.
I think he was on Twitter saying day 1 begins now or something like that.
Yeah. But I tell you what though, regardless, it is good numbers, because I just assumed that the show would constantly go down.
So yeah, the fact that they've gained this amount of fans it tells me that people wanted to see how the Bloodline would be reacting without Roman Reigns as champion. So, yeah, good numbers here. Big increase at this point of the show. Quarter 3 is not normally a quarter where the numbers would go up. You know, you'd expect maybe quarter 5 to be the number that gets the big increase, but this does show that the Bloodline, you know, are somewhat of a draw, and people were interested in seeing what the Bloodline looked like without Roman Reigns as champion. Then moving to quarter 4, we get a 3% loss. This did 2.610 million, and it was Cameron Grimes versus Braun Breaker, and then another WrestleMania recap. So I thought this did very well to only lose 3%. We then move into quarter 5, 9 o'clock to 9:15. Again, AJ Styles backstage promo. We've got Bayley, Tiffany, and Naomi cutting a promo. And then we got Heyman, Tonga, and Solo Sikoa backstage with a Naomi and Stratton match beginning. Again, this lost 2%, down to 2.554 million. I mean, yeah, the rating's going down, but nothing major. You know, it's only like small losses right now. So, I mean, it's still holding steady, the number overall. Quarter 6, 9:15 to 9:30. We got Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton continuing. We then got Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, New Catch Republic in a backstage angle with another WrestleMania recap. This lost 8%. Not really surprised. This was the biggest loss in quarters apart from quarter 1 to quarter 2. And I mean, when you look at it, it's not really surprising. Like Naomi versus Stratton, I don't think many people care about that really. Then you got Grayson Waller, Austin Theory. I mean, I like Grayson Waller, but let's not pretend like he's been built as a big star, because he hasn't been. Then you got New Catch Republic and Street Profits. Again, do not care for them. So am I surprised this lost 8%? No, the answer to that is no. Definitely not.
Absolutely not. -8. I mean, I'm kind of surprised it didn't go down by more.
Yeah, we move into quarter 7 though, 9:30 to 9:45. We've got a Logan Paul promo, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven with Nick Aldis backstage. We then got Green and Niven versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, followed by a Kevin Owens promo, and this went up 5%. So this was the only quarter that went up, apart from quarter 3. It was the only quarter that had a positive increase.
No idea why though.
Maybe the Logan Paul promo, perhaps.
Maybe,
Could
but
be Logan Paul.
It lasted about 90 seconds.
I don't really see any other reason for that. Maybe people were tuning in towards the end of it to get ready for the main event. Not entirely sure, but it did go up 5% to 2.469 million. Plus, there was a pretty decent increase in the demo as well. That went up 7% for 1.032 million in the demo. And then we move into the final quarter, quarter 8. Main event, Mysterio versus AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. And this lost 7% of the audience, and it ended up being the lowest rated quarter of the show with 2.298 million, and it was also the second lowest demo of the show. So never a good sign for me when the final quarter is the lowest rated quarter. You would expect I mean, if you're doing a good show, if people are truly invested in your show, the last quarter, in my opinion, should be the highest rated.
Yeah.
Outside of maybe the opening quarter. But if you've got a great show that people want to see an ending to, and a good climax to, then you'd expect quarter 8 to be the highest rated quarter, but it wasn't tonight. So, I don't know, maybe people just tuned out. They thought Mysterio, Styles, Kevin Owens, maybe they weren't really interested in who won.
I think once LA Knight won earlier, you kind of knew who was winning this. It was predictable.
Yeah, should they have saved the Bloodline segment for after this match? Possibly. I think that would have made more sense, but, I mean, they didn't do that, and that was it, guys. So, yeah, overall, it was a good rating for SmackDown. They had a couple of decent increases, especially quarter 3, big spike of 13%. But, yeah, ending it, I think, with the lowest rated quarter. Not a great sign, but better than anything AEW is doing for sure. So I don't think WWE will be too worried.
Yeah, they're not going to cry too much about this, but let's see them maintain it now. No Rock, no Roman, Tammy Tonga. Can he carry them? Can Cody carry them?
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it is the SmackDown after WrestleMania. If they can keep this going for another couple of weeks, then I'll be impressed. But I think that we could be looking at a scenario where the viewership just drops off after WrestleMania, and yeah, I think that WWE need to create some interest in television to stop that from happening. Anyway, that is it. We'll be back soon with the Raw ratings. It'll be interesting to see how Raw does, especially compared to last week. We know last week did a big number. Can this week's Raw maintain that? How much will they lose? I think we could see a big loss. I think we could see like 500,000 at least with Raw. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's even more than that. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. No Rock, of course. Remember, I think Raw last week did roughly, was it 2.6? I want to say, was it 2.6 mil? I can't remember, but we'll check what it is this week, guys. Anyway, there you go. SmackDown, 2.5 mil. Good rating, but it's all about continuing that after WrestleMania, and we'll find out right here on Fog Wrestling whether they can do it or not. Catch you in the next one, guys. Till then, peace.